All right, we will call the Monday, May 9th Highway Committee meeting to order. First order is roll call. Gary Mertig. Here. Michael Berlin.
Here.
William Metzinger.
Here.
Martin Vitek.
Here.
Rich Huber.
Here.
All members are here. Number 2 is reorganization, election of chairman and vice chair.
Nominate Gary Mertig. I will second it.
Any other nominations? Is there any other nominations for chairman? One last time, any nominations for chairman? If not, nominations are closed. I guess we have one nomination of Gary Mertig, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Your meeting.
You didn't say
Congratulations.
oppose.
Oh,
Oppose, sorry.
We're not giving that option today.
Okay, so then we need to have a motion to elect the vice chair. Is there any motions?
I make a motion and I nominate Martin Vitek because he's close.
Okay, then a motion to nominate Marty
I'll
Vitek.
second it.
Okay, so is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Hearing none. We need to close, technically a motion to close nomination.
Yeah. that'll
So
be
I need a motion to
unanimous
close the
ballot.
nominations and cast unanimous ballot for Marty. Is there a motion?
I so do.
Motion by Bill, second.
Second.
Second by Mike. All those in favor of electing Marty vice chair and closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
The main job of vice chairman is to make sure the chairman shows up.
Call ever. Okay, we need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. I'll second it.
Motion by Rick, second by Marty. Any corrections, changes? All those in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Approval of February 21st, 2022 meeting minutes.
I so move that they be approved.
Motion by Bill, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Marty. Any questions, corrections, deletions? All those in favor of approving the meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Public comment,
so we have one on Zoom.
okay,
Yes, we do.
go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is James M. Brennan. I am Ashland County property owner, landowner for 50 years and a seasonal homeowner for 40 of those years in the summers. The last 12 years, I've been a full-time resident here. I also serve as the chair of the Morris Comprehensive Planning Committee and in the immediate past president of the Friends of Copper Falls State Park. Copper Falls State Park is one of the most visited parks in northern Wisconsin. The park is a destination spot for over 200,000 visitors each year, bringing economic benefits and recreational activities to the town of Morris, city of Mellon, and Ashland County residents at large. Mellon serves as the gateway community to the park entrance. State Highway 169 is a curving 2-lane highway with limited sight distances and narrow shoulders that is used by heavy farm implements, manure spreaders, milk trucks, and gravel trucks, logging trucks, and granite trucks. The highway is the sole direct transportation corridor between Mellon and the park. The posted speed limit is 55 miles per hour, which makes it dangerous for non-motorized users who want to access the park. But we frequently see walkers, bikers, parents with baby strollers, local children who want to swim at Loon Lake and the park itself. Park visitors using non-motorized transportation share the highway with heavy traffic. Safety is our first concern, and we recognize that Highway 169 is a dangerous route for non-motorized users of all ages. Morris comprehensive and recreational plans both identify the importance of a multi-use transportation connector trail as a critical element of our community's wellness, tourism, and economic development strategy. Plans developed and used by the Friends of Copper Falls State Park and the city of Mellon also highlight the need for a safe route to the park that supports the economic and recreational plans of our communities. A group of local elected officials from Morris, representatives of the North Country Trail, Severn County Department staff members, and a retired engineer have been planning for a safe recreational route along 169 since 2020. The group has also been looking for funds to develop this route along the highway, as well as an alternative route near the highway. Both the town of Morris and the Friends of Copper Falls have received $50,000 grants from the Enbridge Energy Company for this purpose. The town has also applied for a Wisconsin TAP grant to secure funds to construct an alternative route that can be used until the DOT repairs and resurfaces 169. We're not comfortable with the limited scope for Highway 169 repair project as it is currently proposed and scheduled for 2024 and 2025. The town's planning group is concerned that a limited scope plan being considered for the 169 upgrade, one that doesn't adequately take into consideration the needs of local residents and visitors who want to access the park by biking, hiking, jogging, or using strollers for young children. The proposed level of upgrade does not meet our safety concerns, nor does it take into consideration our land use and planning goals. We ask that the County Highway Department and Traffic Safety Committee begin to plan for an expanded repair plan and ask for the DOT to expand the scope of the proposed repair work to include the installation of a non-motorized recreational trail on the sides of the highway. Our community and our planning committee is moving ahead with advocacy to highlight the need for safe recreational trail opportunities for residents and visitors to avoid any calamitous accidents that may take place in the future. Thank you for that opportunity to share with you our concern, and I appreciate this opportunity very much.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bennett. Because it's public comment, we'll certainly take that under advisement and probably talk about it sometime when we have it on the agenda. But that information helps us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any
I
other
don't know. if Brent-
public
Brent
comment on
wants
the
to say
screen
anything?
though?
No,
None?
no, nobody
You
else.
do have anything that you wanted to address us on at this time?
No, I just know what he's talking about 169. I drive a log truck and that is the sharp corners and pedestrians on the road. It is dangerous.
What is the speed limit there?
Part of it's 55, part of it's 45. The corners are 25 mile an hour. So right when you get just past the falls, it coming in down, it drops to 45. But it's 55, but most of the corners are 25, 30 mile an hour.
When you turn off to go into Copper Falls, is it 45 there?
No, it's 55.
It's 55. It's
Maybe we should look into lowering that speed limit to 45.
It's been
Right at,
asked,
what?
it's been asked many times, the DOT has not been willing to do that.
Don't we have something to say about it?
State highway.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask. Good.
Yeah,
You know, down the road, we could, you know, put it on as an agenda item and
Yeah.
then we could send a letter requesting the DOT to answer us in
Come to
person.
the meeting.
Right. Right.
Didn't the North Country Trail make something parallel to 169 out there once upon a
There
time?
is, the trail goes off out of Mellon. I've never been on it toward the park. I don't
They
know.
have- They have a raised thing through that swamp up there,
mhm.
but I think that's kind of falling apart. a little bit.
And I
They
think
kinda
they're working
rebuilt
on it.
Is it?
Recently.
They built that bridge, but I think the road is gone, the trail itself is gone again from flooding. It usually floods there every year almost.
Okay.
They said they're working on something there.
Right. Okay, good, thank you. Okay, Commissioner 6, Commissioner updates.
Start with employees. So we're full staff with full-time employees. That's going well. We were able to find 4 summer help employees. 2 of them started today. The other 2, I believe, are in high school yet, in Mellon, so they will
Millen and Ashland.
No, one in Ashland, so they won't be starting for a few weeks yet till they finish out their high school, so. That part is going good. Work schedule, so, I mean, basically, we're patching potholes right now. I don't know if anybody's drove on GG in the last, well, since the last 2 months, it's coming apart again, as it always does in the spring, but, so we've been working on that for quite a while. We have quite a bit of patching on 13 south of Mellon to do. We started pulling shoulders last week, so that we pull the shoulders up and grade them back out. We're doing some other just small projects, a lot of cleanup around here. We're started taking our plow trucks apart for the summer, making them into dump trucks and haul trucks. You know, washing them up, cleaning them all up. We'll be starting crack sealing here probably in the next couple weeks, depending on weather. We got bridge washing to do. So yeah, just starting to get into our summer swing of things. Still a little bit up in the air yet on culvert work for the summer, which I guess I'll talk about a little bit later. We're waiting to hear yet for sure on County Highway E, if we're gonna get federal money for that for next summer. If we are, I want to change a bunch of culverts up there that they're not bad right now, but they're, you know, if we leave them, they won't last the life of the pavement. So I want to look at getting them changed, but I'm not going to change them if we're not going to do the project. So so still waiting on that. Otherwise, we still have some more culvert work on GG to look at. 22 construction, basically on the state highways, the 112 bridge over White River will be under construction this year. We have a pre-con on tomorrow here at our office. The state's holding a pre-construction meeting, so that project will be kicking off soon, I think. And then the paving, Highway 13 paving from Mellon basically down to that Morse Corner will be this summer. I have not heard any.
I saw Matthew
Dates.
drilling holes in there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they just always do a little testing, so.
I have a question on that White River Bridge. When they're gonna replace like half at a time, the whole bridge.
Yes,
So all
it's
those.
not the
trucks-
whole bridge, it's the surface, but
Oh, just the surface, okay.
yes.
Because those
but-
trucks that come out of Glidden are all running 112.
So that will be closed, probably for, I am guessing 3 to 4 months.
Okay, because they bypass Ashland by taking 112 and 118. And
Like I say, I don't know the construction, you know, what exactly it's gonna take yet. The pre-con is tomorrow. They'll probably have a very good timeline after that point, but good chance it'll be closed down as soon as school's done and hopefully open up before school starts again, but it's
okay.
just
There
depends.
isn't a real good short bypass there, is there?
It'll be a Highway 13 will be the detour.
Yeah, I just was shocked that, you know, a year or two ago when I saw all of them on that road and I thought, well, then I asked, and well, it was bypassing Ashland, not, and I understand that, but.
Yep.
I got hit in a roundabout. It was semi, the lady hit me in a fully loaded log truck.
So that's the basic construction. We're gonna talk about our paving bid next, so that hopefully will be added to our construction list for this year.
And now, in those projects that were the federal projects, and one was in Butternut, but got delayed because of the railroad crossing,
It wasn't able to be applied for.
because of the railroad. crossing.
Yes.
So that would potentially be out another year or two or whenever.
Yeah, we'll talk about that under number 8,
Okay.
but yeah. See where we want to go with all of that for sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions on any
Yeah,
of them?
we'll-
Employees, work schedule, construction? If not, that's my report for that.
Then we go to 7. County Highway 2 paving.
Can I just ask a question? I was busy pouring coffee. I see, you know, you chipped, you cut the brush down Must have been between Glidden and Butternut, but there's some big trees that you left.
Mhm.
Are those supposed to be cut?
We will cut them, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
is that a summer project or a winter project?
Probably more of a winter.
Yeah, you cut around the trees.
Yeah, we went through with the brusher last fall.
Okay.
into the winter.
And,
Yeah.
and then there's another stretch that was cut before. It's like cut on this side, then there's a row of brush, and then it's the highway. It's by Melonmore, south of Mellon.
On one of them slopes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just something we need to do by hand. The machines wouldn't,
yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah,
reach.
it's slopey there, but the brush is yay high,
yeah,
and I'm wondering why that wasn't done. You know, that it's cut on the other side,
yep,
but there's a stretch, it's not too, probably from here to the bar.
sure.
That-
It's just, they did everything with the mower. machine
That has
they
to be
could
done
reach.
by hand, but
That has to be
that's
done by
another
hand.
winter job.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really steep
That's
slope.
what
so
the
it's
state
a-
is paying to do. You know, all this clearing all the way down there,
Right.
everybody's excited about. And now we hope we get farther south, but yeah, it's a state DOT. And I've
Yeah.
been sending them, probably every 6 months, I send a message up to Superior, congratulating on doing it, trying to stroke it so that, you know, they help when the county does
Yeah.
it.
But I noticed that one stretch and I was wondering why, but that has to be cut by hand.
Yes.
They're trying to save the bees.
That wood you cut, is that open to anybody that wants to take it, or does that work?
Along the state highways, it is. I mean, you have to
Oh.
get a permit. It's a no-fee permit from the DOT.
Oh, is it? Okay,
But yeah, it's available.
okay.
It's better if somebody picks it up, then you don't have to keep riding over
But
it.
does the
Yeah.
landowner have preference in the right of way or not? No,
The landowners along the state highways don't own the land.
okay,
The DOT owns the right of way.
okay.
So they
Because
have,
somebody questioned me about that too.
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask. because
you
I
know, the
wasn't
county
sure.
roads, we don't own the right of way, but
Okay.
the state highway does.
Okay,
I got a question, another question. I see in some of the town roads or the county roads, there's some big culverts laying there yet. There was by Minersville there, going down that road on C.
They're still there.
I don't know if they are or not. They
Yeah,
were
they're-
there last fall. And I just wondered.
They've been gone
If-
for
Hang on for a
They've
while.
been
probably a
gone,
year.
they're okay.
Yeah,
But if it's on the county right away, those big culverts, that's the counties,
yeah.
and that's where we were stockpiling them.
I mean, that just it was pulled out in that storm.
Yeah, but
So-
didn't you stockpile them here someplace and then come and have somebody pick them up all at once?
Oh, yeah, we had a lot of culverts up at our C yard that we scrapped out now when scrap was high.
Okay,
Yep.
good. County GG.
County GG. So we received bids back. It's been a week and a half or so, I think. I should say we received a bid for paving. So our intention was we had put in the budget to pave from Mineral Lake about right at 5 miles south, right to Spider Creek. If you look in your pages, it's not connected, but I put a little, so Northwoods Paving Bid came in at $1,381,032.12. They did give an alternative for a high wrap alternative. So it's basically they use a lot more recycled asphalt and less virgin oil. It's a little bit cheaper, but it's not as quality of a product. So yeah, there's a difference, I mean, between the two bids of 102,000. Just give the asphalt price per ton, and then I give a comparison of last year, we were at 67.18, this year it's at 91.91, so it's a 36% increase in asphalt cost from last year. So for funding, we had 820,000 from the county, that would be debt levy, budgeted for this project. The LRIP project, there's the new LRIP S, it's called supplementary CHI-S. We have 176,551.37. And then in other LRIP funding, just the regular, we have $231,083.18. So it brings our total funding to $1,227,634.55, which we would need to use $153,398.57 out of our improvement fund, which we did budget for. We had budgeted total. I adjusted it, I added, there was extra, that some of that LRIP money that we did not know we were getting, so for sure, so that added, so it brought our total budget up to $1,397,634.55. So which is, just above the 381 or 1,381,000 that the bid came in at.
So this is 5 miles of paving.
5 miles of paving.
It's gonna cost us that much?
Yes,
Holy smokes.
I have a question for you.
sure.
What is that high wrap alternative?
So they use more recycled asphalt. They always, when they mill the top off, like this project, they'll mill 1 inch off the top and we're gonna replace it with 2 inches of new. They haul that millings back to their, and they crush it and then they add it in. So it already has oil in it. So they just, the spec I give them, then it calls for some of that, but this is a more. So they can use more recycled material, less virgin oil, and make a product. It's not as good of a product, but they give it as a, because they knew it would be less dollars, so they give an alternative if we wanted to cut that, $100,000 out of the price.
Is that the only bid you got is Northwoods Paving?
It is,
Nobody
yeah.
else around?
Nobody else around.
Oh,
The only other options, is Lapino, which they obviously didn't give us a bid. American Asphalt bids at some, but they're same company as Northwoods,
Yeah.
different names, so.
Is there any roads in Ashen County that we did this already, so we can?
The high wrap,
Yeah,
not that I'm aware of. We've been using this other mix and we're happy with it.
okay.
I mean,
'Cause
I
was wondering how long it lasts. Is there any other counties that have it that you looked at that?
I guess I do not know that, yeah.
Be nice to know if it lasts as long, or I suppose it don't.
It doesn't, it's, I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but the oil that the spec I give goes down to 34 below, and I think that one is 28 below, so it's a little bit, but it's just, it's not, it would have less new oil, so it would be a little more brittle, per se, it would crack easier.
Yeah.
I mean,
Less.
yes, less life.
So, go ahead.
How can you tell that they're adding enough oil that they say they are? How do you determine that?
I mean,
Does anybody check on them, or
we have not, no. I mean,
what is there there is no way to check on them, is there?
there is, I mean, you can hire a testing firm that can test that.
The state test stuff when they.
The state does, yeah.
So what is the bid spec? Is it 5%, 5.5%? I know at 5.8%, you go up behind that paver and your feet are like sticking to that pavement. You think it, holy crap, this is really tacky. And that's less than 6%.
Sure. Yeah, and I don't know what this exact spec is with that mix that I specified.
What is the state
Yeah,
spec
it is, yes.
mix?
So Matt, you're looking, if we want to approve this bid
Mhm.
and the budget, that 1.397 million. That we can, our budget will live within that.
Yeah, so that's the amount of our budget that we had budgeted for this project, so it came in
Little less.
a little bit less, yeah.
What's the preference?
I'd rather go with the newer blacktop. I wouldn't want the other stuff. For me,
You want to make that a motion?
I'll make a motion that we go with Northwoods Paving bid of Of 1.8, 133.12.
I'm gonna make up the difference in money. We
If
haven't,
we got some left over, we can buy donuts for the next one.
That's coming in, what, 16,000 less?
Was that first bid, that 1,381,000,
Yep.
was that with the recycled?
No,
No,
that's the
brand new.
next one down is the
1.2.
high wrap alternative.
That's like a little higher than 2,000, yeah. But then that's not gonna kill your budget.
No, so like I say, that bottom number, that 1,397,634.55, that would be what we have budgeted for this year for
So the
asphalt.
bid's coming in 16,000 less than our budget. Okay. So,
I guess I would second. it.
okay, Rich made a motion, Marty seconds it. Any other discussion?
What are they going to do with the stuff that they recycle? What are they going to do with that?
It goes
They
back
take
in.
it back to the pit.
Will they take it back to their pit?
Yeah, they use some of it because they use some amount in this mix, just not a higher percentage.
Okay,
So, yeah, they take it back. That's all figured in as part of their job. The stuff, if they don't use it in the mix that they make, it's, they will use it elsewhere or sell it or whatever, but that's all part of the project. If we were to keep it, then the project price would rise.
Yeah. When's the time frame that this is gonna be done?
So I had a September one, I believe, that needs to be most of the way completed by September 15th. So I'm guessing that they'll do it in conjunction when they do the Highway 13 project.
Okay,
They're gonna set up their plant here, just south of your place. In that old pit, that old Reuben Johnson pit.
Yeah.
They're gonna set up the asphalt plant there for paving Highway 13. And they will pave our project at the same.
They're gonna be in the area because they're doing the 5 miles of Agenda Town Lake Road too.
Okay,
American Asphalt.
Sure.
But,
yeah,
so,
if we pass this today, does it have to go to the county board?
no, it's all budgeted, it's all ready to go. Just wanted to run it by the committee to.
okay, so motion's been made and seconded to go with Northwoods paving bid of 1.381,033.12 paving bid. All those in favor say aye.
I
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
wonder how they come up with the 12 cents.
So,
Yeah.
okay, number 8, BIL grant.
So if you remember, I turned in an application for the first round of BIL, the 22 round was due by April 1. I turned in for County Highway E. That was one of them shovel ready. We had 3 plans drawn up. County E was one of them, GG and Mellon right in the city limits in the village of Butternut. The GG and the Butternut one on F didn't qualify because they had a railroad through them. And that wasn't allowed under the limitations of this let. They had told us we would hear by the end of April where these projects are at, who's getting the funding. We have not heard yet. Dan sent me a link this morning to a WCA, had the DOT talk at their weekly meeting this morning. And they said they will let us know by the end of the week. So, which, it was supposed to be end of April, so these projects are gonna be pushed through fast. We have it at most of the way designed, but it still has to do the finish part of it, which we have SEH on board. They're ready to go. As soon as we give them the nod that we have the funding, they will have, the final paperwork has to be all submitted by August 1st. And they have committed that they will have that done for us. I just have to give them the go ahead to do it. So,
And that's the one you said, if we get the grant, then you'll do the culverts this year and the paving will get done next year.
yes,
Okay.
yep, that's our intention. Like I said, them culverts, they're getting toward the end of their life. They're not failing yet or. But if we leave them in, in 5 or 10 years, we'll be replacing them, digging up that new asphalt. And nobody likes to see that, so. We'll go through and inspect them here this spring yet and decide for sure which.
And if you hear by the end of the week, Matt, you have everything you need authority wise.
Yeah, it's all done. I just, so the next discussion is there's another, we can apply again by June 1st. So here's my thought. We applied last fall for an STP grant, which is basically the same as this BIL. It's just how the state always have done it. And it's actually, the BIL is being given through the STP program, the Surface Transportation Program. So we had applied for from Mellon city limits to Mineral Lake Road. We were unsuccessful in that. We did not get that that grant. So I can roll that one into the 23 grant or 23 application. But then I don't know how much how many to apply or not. Some counties say they're just gonna throw everything they have at it. They're not gonna get everything. Do I put in that one? I can add GG in the city of Mellon. I can add F and Butternut to it also as applications and see what happens. It all runs off an entitlement. Basically, they have a formula that how they divide the money up. At coming into this spring, we were about 500,000 in the hole yet on that entitlement. So we're still quite a ways in the hole, mainly from the when H was down on the island. We've got that big grant money for that, so it takes a lot of years to pay that, to take that back out of your entitlement.
Well, what's the most in need about those other projects?
GG.
Then I would focus on GG. The Butternut one, you basically already have the preliminary stuff done.
The plan, yeah.
But yeah, I would focus on GG. It's the biggest.
Sure. But should I put them other ones in too or not? I don't know how to look at it for sure.
Well, if you put the other two in, would it, yeah, I know you don't know that, but would it affect GG? Because that's a most-traveled road.
Yeah, I don't, well, the thing is the GG is gonna be the bigger dollar amount. That one's gonna be 2 million plus. The other ones are gonna be 600,000 each or something. Are they gonna throw us a little bone and leave the big one go, or how do you look at it?
Yeah, could work against you, yeah.
Yeah, if you put in for all three,
Yeah,
then you get none.
yeah, I don't know.
How much work would it be to do 2 additional ones?
It's very little work. It's not that bad of an application. I mean, it's easily doable.
I suppose actually now is the time to try it because the federal dollars
There
won't be
is-
there forever.
There is a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it this round, you can keep, this is a 5-year cycle through, so if there's extra money, and so we'll just keep rolling them into the future years.
So what's the recommendation for that?
I think we should go for as much as we can.
Shoot them all in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Do you need an action? You need a motion to okay this BIL grant?
No,
Okay, because we've
No.
already done that. We've
Yeah.
already done it to apply.
yeah, I guess you can make a motion that I apply for all these. I guess that would be fine. Otherwise, it's just
Okay.
direct me to, and that's fine.
I so will move.
Yeah,
Okay,
napkin,
Bill makes a motion to have Matt apply for all three,
Okay.
and Marty seconds it. Any other questions?
Just for your information, if you remember, I applied for a FLAP grant, that Federal Lands Access Program for GG, from basically where we're stopping at Spider Creek now down to County Highway M. And I was successful with that grant. That will be,
Hold that thought for just a second. Hold it for a second, because I want to talk about that for a second, but we have a motion a second, right?
Right.
yes,
Okay, to have Matt do all three of those other projects. Is,
I got let discussion. Under discussion after the motion,
Okay,
how soon would we know that if we got it, how soon?
So the 23 applications are due by June 3rd, and they said they will let us know in July, so
Okay.
that probably means August.
Okay.
okay, good. Okay, so motion's been made, second to have Matt go for all three. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, now let's talk
Okay.
about the federal money.
So the federal lands access program, we applied for the 7 miles that's south of what we're doing this year, that 5 miles. We were successful with that. I'm in the process. I just turned in some paperwork this morning to basically move the process forward. I haven't got official confirmation on it, but I was told when I applied for it, I applied for a $2.2 million project, but they had said at that point it would be capped at $1 million. So that would have been 1.2 million county share. I've been told unofficially from the WCHA director that we are going to receive that at 100%, 2.2 million. The one problem with that is I did that estimate before, earlier, late summer, maybe you could say, before we knew that asphalt prices were going to blow sky high. So if the asphalt prices stay up, 36% like they have and possibly go higher, the county will have something into there, but hopefully it's $200,000 or $300,000 instead of.
But the fact that the feds are gonna put in 2.2 million on the
Yes.
county road is pretty
It's pretty good, yes,
good.
yes.
And on the south portion of GE, did they not put in $1 million?
They put in $1 million for that one, yes, yeah.
And that's something, once we get past all the preliminary approvals, we need to do some public outreach to the public and say, hey, your county roads are being taken care of, and thank you to the feds or to whomever, because it isn't coming off, that 2 million coming off the feds isn't coming off our taxpayers.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah,
huge.
It's
You're
great for
talking,
Ashland County.
you're talking 7 miles?
7 miles.
Okay,
If you remember, we talked about this, it's been close to 2 years. So the costs are up a little bit because we agreed to pave that 3-foot paved shoulder. So we're gonna have our regular, 11-foot lanes and then the 3-foot paved shoulder. So that there is extra costs involved with that. But I believe that's
worth it.
That's
Yeah.
where we qualified for this flap, and I think maybe even the extra money might have helped to get it, because they really like to see that there's access for bicycles and pedestrians and other methods besides cars, traffic on that road.
On any new road project, are they putting automatically those rumble strips in?
Not automatically.
I'm just, is that part of the?
So the state has talked to me about that. They would like to see them on GG on these projects. They wanted center line and outside ones, the outside and I told them I'm really not interested. From a safety standpoint, they're great. From a maintenance standpoint, they're not so great. I mean, you're grinding potholes in the road, right? Water sits there, it seeps in, it creates problems. We spend a lot of money on these roads, and now we're going to make them not last as long. They look at it as they see there was a fatality on GG. There's a lot of run off the road accidents on GG, and they say, we really think this is a good candidate for the safety rumbles.
But is that a lot more money, or?
It's not a lot of money, no.
the problem with the rumble strips, and I'm not talking the center line, that's a whole different issue. But if you drive the interstate, like 51, Tomahawk, Wausau, when the DOT put the rumble strips on the shoulder off the pavement, onto the shoulder ways, you don't get affected by that. But now they're putting them right up to the line on the pavement. And if you got a trailer, a wide trailer, like I did all the way to Green Bay, I'm on that rumble strip almost all the time, because you're watching the center line, and that tire outside is on that. They got the rumble strips too close on that shoulder. If they moved them over another foot, like some of their They did in some places. And GG being a narrower road, people are gonna be running that shoulder rumble strip all the time. It, like I said, it's different from the center one, but that shoulder one is a beast on a narrow road.
But on state highways now, is that rumble strip required or no?
I don't know that it's required. They seem to use it most often, but most of the time.
Yeah, they got all the 70
Yeah,
rumbled.
yeah, I was kind of wondering if it's required.
I can hear trucks leave melon from my house.
So yeah, I mean, what does the committee think? Do you want me to pursue rumbles on GG or try to discourage them or?
I think there's enough curves on GG to keep people away from it.
I mean, there is a lot of run off the road accidents there, but
Part of that
what
is due
what is
to
it?
speeding and inattentive driving.
Mhm.
That is the most speeding bunch of people, and a lot of them are Wisconsin,
Yeah,
Minnesota, Michigan. I'm sorry, that road is, and because it's narrow and it's curvy, but that's a terrible road. But it's gonna get much better soon.
Yeah, that'd be great to put that wire.
So is it consensus? We tell Matt we don't want rumble strips if we don't have to?
I think so.
Okay.
So what about you, Marty?
Yeah, the minimum necessary, yeah. There's places you gotta have.
one thing about this flap, they did put it in funding year 26, so it is a few years out yet. I would like to see it in 24, 25-ish, but
Is that for that 7 miles?
yeah, yep. So, we're this 5 miles we're gonna do this year is the worst piece of that road. That the next mile is a little bit borderline. After that, it isn't terrible, but
When you put in a contract about when it has to be done, when you can start and when you have to be done. And if let's say it was supposed to be done by the 15th of September and it gets to be October 15th and it's not done yet, is there some kind of clause in that contract that they have a penalty for that?
it's a small penalty. Yeah,
Isn't there a magic date where you can't lay asphalt down?
there is not, but I mean the quality goes down after when it's cold weather. Yeah.
But on the other option, the contractors sometimes get burned because American Asphalt had a job, I won't say where they were supposed to come back and lay the second layer. And they asked the government agency if they could delay it until this year because they didn't have time. Well, then they came back to the government agency and said, well, could we wait until see if oil prices fall? Well, they're gonna get their butts kicked now because the prices didn't fall. So then they're gonna have to still finish that second layer at a higher cost. And that's a contractor's responsibility now.
Yep.
If they'd have done it.
When it's supposed to, it would have been, yeah.
Yeah, you want to get picked with both feet. no.
Yeah. But, okay. So is that it on the BIL?
That's all I have.
Okay, mutual agreement with towns.
So you guys had asked me to bring this up. If you remember, we did a mutual agreement with some of the surrounding counties, my 9-county group that I work with. And you guys had expressed interest in doing it with something on the same with the towns. So you asked me to put it on here, then, yeah, if you guys would like to direct me to do that, basically
What's the cost to the county?
0.
Okay, so the only time it would come into play is if a township has a disaster.
Yeah, or the county, but if there's a FEMA disaster is the big time it comes into play. It takes a lot of the FEMA, you can show that to FEMA and then you have an agreement in place. There's no questions. They really like to see it. It's a lot less hassle. You can still do it later, but like in 2016, Emmer had to jump through a bunch of hoops to do that work.
Okay,
And this just makes it a lot cleaner.
okay, so you would need a motion to. How do you,
Yeah, I would like a motion to direct me to put together a mutual aid agreement and present it to all the Ashland County towns.
I'll make that motion.
okay, Marty makes a motion, Mike seconds it, discussion?
Wasn't there something in that, you get that Wisconsin book all the time, for county? Wasn't there something in there about the, between like state or county departments on the highway and then with, let's say, Mellon or Glidden responds to something on the highway and there's a clause in there where they can't do anything with the county or the state, but they can do stuff on their own. I mean,
Yeah.
let's say Glidden can't come in and say this accident, say the county, we need this county loader to do this. And the
yeah.
county can't come in and say, well, you come in here, we want this done. And
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, that's not really what this is about.
Oh, okay.
It's to work together on, storms, flood issues, I mean, big snow events.
Okay.
If the towns need help, they can request help from us, or, if we needed, that we could request from them. Just basically lays out paper, a paper trail that we have an agreement in place. We're gonna use the state DOT equipment rates
Okay.
for any of this work.
I mean, it's good for everybody. there.
Yeah,
I was just
Yep.
wondering what that closet said because,
I guess
Didn't
I'm
wanna get in
not
trouble.
sure on that.
oh,
what
okay.
you're Referring to.
Does this have to be passed by the county board or no?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
If the committee authorizes it, that's what we did on the
Okay.
agreement with the other counties. Just basically, there's no cost to anybody. It's just an agreement that we have in place if when an accident, or not accident so much, but a storm happens, natural disaster, that we have an agreement in place to move forward.
Okay, so there's a motion, a second to approve having Matt draw a mutual aid agreements with the towns if they so desire. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. County Highway Association Summer Road School.
So road school is June 6th through 8th. I asked most of you guys if anybody was interested. I didn't have any takers. Just wanted to one more time ask if anybody was interested in.
I thought it was too late. It says in your thing, I think.
Well, I
eighth
mean-
was the end of it.
The 8th was that they hold the rooms,
Oh,
the motel holds the rooms for. Probably can still get them,
oh.
but
Okay.
and then the registration deadline, I believe, is the 11th, if I remember right, through WCHA. But you can register late. It just costs more money.
Oh. And the highway department pays for all that then?
Yes. We pay for the room, the registration, and then, there's the per diems for food each day, according to your handbook.
Yeah,
Pay for everything but the golf.
yeah, well, I don't golf anyway, but. But I mean, then you go on, is there classes that they have, or
Yeah, was it?
I didn't look at this that much, because I didn't think I would be able.
I did not put the agenda in here, but yeah, there's
Oh.
different seminars, different topics.
Well, I think I'll just leave it.
Anybody else going? Then you give away a free vacation.
What's wrong with that?
Okay, so ordering equipment for 2020. Oh, sorry.
You're going, right?
Yes.
Okay, is anybody else going from the highway department?
No.
Okay, so ordering equipment for 2023.
So talking to a lot of the other counties around, and not everybody's doing it, but some are. To get anything these days is takes forever or is impossible. They're telling us trucks are, who knows, 15, 18 months out. I mean, everything, we just don't know. I mean, we ordered a truck in November, right after budget passed. That's supposed to be here anytime. Plow truck. We ordered pickup, which from Ford, they say, well, we're not sure yet. We did order a car for human services that I believe has been built. They're waiting to deliver it, ship it. So that should be close. We tried to get a chipper. We do have one possibly with, it's not 100%, that maybe come in June. But so if we wait till November like normal, usually when the budget gets approved and, at the November meeting, I have my bids, I take my bids right before that and I order stuff right after that's approved. But I'm seeking if I could put out for bids for a truck and possibly a loader. We have a loader on our planning for next year. To order for next year, so we could hopefully get it next year.
Well,
Otherwise,
you would come back to us with the bids anyways,
yeah,
and a bid is only a bid.
well,
only
generally,
kind
I don't always come back to you with the bid because we approve it in the budget,
Okay,
But
but what we'd want to see is something of the bid so that we knew you were within your budget.
yeah, so we could do that. I mean, I could take bids out for the next highway meeting and we could look over them and accept them, knowing that, our equipment budget it's been at, usually at 350 up to 450 range. We don't have to order everything, but if we could order a couple big things that, if we order them, say in June, July, maybe we would see them next year, June, July, maybe, or November, But if we wait till November, we could
Right.
possibly skip a whole year of not being able to receive a piece of equipment.
But if you ordered them now, we would know what our amount would be for the
For
budget.
the budget, yeah.
Well, then I make a motion that we give him the power to do that.
I can take the bids and bring them to the next committee meeting.
Solicit bid.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, that would work.
Okay. You want
I'll
that?
second that.
Okay, motion by Phil, second by
I
Mike.
got a question.
Go ahead.
So you're buying this thing, you're buying this outright,
The,
the loader or whatever, because in here you lease a lot of things. from
Yeah,
Blue
so-
Ridge, but-
that's mainly brush machines.
Oh,
The
okay.
skid steers with brush heads. They're how do you say, very high maintenance if you own them. It's hard on them.
Yeah,
It's hard to charge enough to the state, especially they have a set rate for each
Okay.
piece of equipment. And we found in the past that rate does not cover the cost of that piece of equipment to run it.
okay,
So if we rent them, we can charge that full cost to the state. So the county is not subsidizing the state to do brushing on their roads. We're getting reimbursed for 100%. If we own them piece, then
it costs us money.
it costs us money.
Dan,
Dan.
go ahead, Dan.
I was just gonna say, if you're gonna commit money to next year's budget, I'd like to see it go through finance committee also.
Okay,
If you're gonna commit money in next year's budget, that way when finance is doing the budget, they've approved this already too.
okay. So the highway committee would look at it and then ask the finance committee to approve it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because you're committing
Or
next year's
or
budget. money.
when is the next finance committee meeting? Can we get permission from them,
Um,
before the highway meeting to go ahead with this?
Well, we have to have a county
See-
board meeting tomorrow first, before we set up a
Yeah.
finance meeting. Because we don't know who's on finance until after the board meeting is done.
Okay,
Oh, we know who is
At-
probably
at
gonna be
this
on board.
point- At this point, we're just trying to discover the prices that would.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, get a bid for it and then to get it ordered. And I don't know this 100%, but if we did order it, I'm guessing we could back out down the road
Oh.
if it
Well, Matt,
was
it makes sense
not.
to get the pricing.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes a lot of sense to get the pricing.
okay,
Yeah, and then we'll look at it, we'll get it to the finance committee or whichever happens.
sure.
You
Then
know,
we'll have a solid number to work.
Right,
Yeah, I mean, I could, if. We'll see when they set their finance committee meeting, but we could, have a highway meeting. Close to the same time, either before or after it and approve them. It'd probably be better before to,
Bill,
When they turn their bid in, are they locked in then? even though it's 6 months down the road? or
Not
no?
necessarily.
Not necessarily.
We always thought that in the past, but now they have been doing some, what do they call them?
Surcharges.
Surcharges,
yeah.
And some counties have tried to fight it and they don't get anywhere. They just basically say, here's the piece of equipment. You pay the surcharge or else we cancel the order. You have the option to get out of it, but yeah,
Yeah, they got you.
they do.
Okay, so we'll have Matt get some bidding prices so that we can look at it, finance can look at it and see.
Okay.
if we can
Would be great.
So we got a motion then? Or no?
Bill motion, second by Mike.
I
Okay,
don't know if you
yes.
voted.
Okay.
It's already-
That's it.
Any other
Yeah.
questions? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
I,
Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you.
Holding allowance.
And this was brought up by the committee at the last meeting. You guys asked to add this to the agenda to increase the clothing allowance.
Can you tell us what the story is now? What they get?
We get 240 a year right now.
$340 a year?
For every employee?
For highway employees, yes.
How many do they have?
16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and when we looked at increasing it, the total amount wasn't a huge amount, because we're talking shoes,
Safety.
safety equipment, jackets.
So at 340, it's $5,440.
What is it, $2,500?
Depends on what you guys are interested in raising it to.
Well, and I think this came up last time. If they buy a pair of shoes,
Safety
Like-
shoes.
I did, and I got a 30 or 40% discount, and my cost was $240 with the discount.
Yeah.
That was just for a pair of shoes. So it doesn't go very far.
It does not, no.
all those visible jackets and,
They buy, we provide a vest,
okay,
but most of them buy a winter parka
that's what I mean, yeah.
every couple of years, with all the high visibility. They supply all their gloves, hats, coveralls, rain gear,
Okay.
all that sort of thing. They supply themselves.
Do you know the last time that this was changed? How long has it been at $340?
I do not. It's been at that since I started here in 2013.
I think it was I think we left like maybe 2010, it was at 320. Like 300 or something, was the last time it was changed.
And you said our increase was like $2,000.
If you, because you guys talked about 500 last time, so
Right.
just throw that out there, that would be 2,500, 2,560.
Okay,
That
For
would be
the
the
total.
increase.
right.
At how
So
much?
like 7,500 then, I mean,
That would be $8,000.
yeah, 8,000.
At how much?
At 500, it would cost $8,000.
For the whole year.
Yeah.
But does every employee benefit, or does every employee go after this every year?
Yes.
And they do?
When, excuse me, when would this take effect then if we passed it today? When
So I don't know
would it be the next budget or?
if you guys are interested in, I think we could put it into our budget for this year if you're interested. Otherwise, we could put it for next year too, over whatever the committee would want to look at, I guess.
Or, yeah, it wouldn't matter. I was thinking of like a September, but it wouldn't matter because it's all coming out of the same. budget.
Yeah.
And your budget's January through December.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking, it's hard, $3,000.
2,560.
Yeah.
So we're going from 340 to 500
Right.
for each employee.
I'd make a motion to do that.
As far as when?
Going for-
So you can't do it in the middle of the year, can you?
Well, it
You
doesn't
do it
really-
for the whole year.
Well, it doesn't matter because nobody's gonna, they're gonna still take it this year anyways.
Yeah.
Because, so if they've spent the 340, they'll have the other 160 to spend for the rest of the year, but
So if you just made it for 2022,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, yeah,
It's your
2000.
motion, Marty.
June 1st works too. I mean,
I don't care, but I'm just saying, just so that
Bill for the fill in the blanks.
Okay.
if you want to make it effective for 2022, or do you want to make it effective for 2023?
Well, June 1st comes in.
2022.
Is that your motion?
So effective in 2000, do we have to run that through the finance committee?
We can't use the Wayback Machine on this one.
I mean,
Dan?
Um,
But
only a few $1,000s. If Matt has the money in his budget, he can just go ahead and do it this
Yeah.
year.
yeah, I mean, if it's over, I can't remember exactly, if it's over $5,000 change, I need to go to Dan, and if it's over 20 or 25,000, we need to go to finance, so it's well below them parameters.
so we don't make Amber mess up. Marty's, you're making a motion to increase the clothing allowance from 340 to 500 per employee effective June 1st.
Right.
Is there a second?
I'll second it. I'd rather see 22 in there than 22 years, but
Here, you got a question. It's 22.
yeah, I know. Go ahead.
You know how this got started? Were you here when this started? or no?
I was not.
Because normally a clothing allowance is when you're required to dress a certain way.
So we do require steel toe boots,
Okay,
and we do require, that they have high visibility jacket at least minimum. So in the summertime, we provide a vest, but in the wintertime, the vest it's kind of hard to put it over a bulky winter jacket. So they generally buy their own jackets. I don't know that we're required to buy gloves or any of that, but this goes towards that.
so there are some requirements.
Yes, there are
Okay,
requirements, yes.
They must be able to buy two pair of boots. You have to have one for the winter and then one for the summer. so-
Don't buy the ones that got a motor on like his.
Oh,
We don't specify that they have to buy anything in particular. They have to wear steel toe boots.
You have to be-
Whether, if they can get 10 years out of a pair, that's up to them.
They're not gonna make it to 10 years. Lucky if they make a year.
Dress for the season, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so motion been made and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay. Farm equipment weight exemption.
So I just wanted to touch base on this. Mary Jo from Land Conservation was actually here at Monday for our meeting that we didn't have. She had approached me, Dad Beck was here. She had approached me sometime back about farmers getting a weight exemption for their equipment, and specifically manure hauling equipment. She said that she's really pushing them to get equipment that directly injects the manure into the ground. So this equipment's gonna increase the weights a lot. And they came to me. Well, the Wisconsin DOT has some IOH laws, it's implements of husbandry. And they increased them. This was 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4, I don't know, time goes by. 80,000 is your normal highway weights, loggers, log trucks, they have an exemption up to 98,000 if they're axled out right. Construction guys can get permits, temporary permits to haul heavier equipment on the highways. But so they raised some of the weights up for farming implements up to, I think, 92,000 total. I think is there a chart in there? It's in this. This back handout I give. So yeah, there's a weight chart there. So they go up to 92,000 total. So they came to me and they asked, they want a permit for 120,000 for county highways. And I said, no way. I said, no, I'm not comfortable doing that. And so Mary Jo asked to speak to the committee about it. She wanted to talk to you guys about the benefits of direct injection and all this. And I said, okay, yeah, that's fine. So they were here Monday, which I had a long conversation. Dick was listening in on it with them, kind of questioning them what they're looking for exactly. And they don't really know. They haven't received the equipment yet to know exactly how much it's going to weigh. So they were going to, when they get their equipment, they want to get Corey Schultz from the DOT to come out and weigh what it is. And then they want to come back to the committee to see, because I told them I'm not comfortable giving them a permit. You guys would have to direct me to, and I'm gonna speak against it.
Yeah,
somewhat, but
and like you say, we might as well wait and see what they say, what Corey says.
yes,
My concern isn't so much here because I'm not familiar with the big farms. But when you get to central Wisconsin and we're talking huge farms, they are hauling huge amounts on roads and those roads are taking a hit. So maybe our farms aren't big enough, but it wouldn't take one farmer with 100-some thousand pounds
yeah.
to. So maybe what we'll do is wait till they come
Yeah.
back and
Yep.
Schultz comes back.
That's what I just figured. I would left it on the agenda for today just to give you guys a heads up. This is coming down. You can think about it if you read anything about it. I don't know what they're going to ask for. I don't know. I will tell you this. Mary Jo called me this morning and she did a little bit more research on it, and she found a study coming out of UW that this is not a good thing for roads. And she's changing her mind somewhat. So they may or may not even come back. I don't know. She did say, whoa, I didn't know it was quite this bad. I can tell you, if you go on some of the gravel roads around these farms, they're just big dishes and it's terrible. So
we'll just leave it as a
yeah,
discussion
it's
item.
just
Do we
a discussion.
need a motion to table it?
No,
No,
because it was a discussion in here, so we'll just leave it there until Mary Jo comes back and they've talked to
Yeah.
people and.
I just wanted you guys just a heads up so you know what the discussion is.
What's the weight for trucks you said before, 98?
A logging truck can go to 98,000
Is that at regular time or frozen road time?
regular time.
Regular time, because some permitted 98,000 pounds unless the road bands are on, then I'm stuck to that. But if you travel out of state, you go to where the state legal is at.
Well, yeah, obviously they couldn't do injection with frosting.
Yeah,
What, this 98,000 pounds, if they were pulled over by an officer, where do they take them to weigh them?
So-
He weighs them right there.
the DOT
Portable
has
scales.
portable scales.
Schultz has got-
Or you'll pull you right over on a nice flat pot of road. Put everything underneath the
And no
truck and
offense.
just-
But Schultz will take an hour of your time too.
Or more.
Say they can have the capability
Right
of
there.
doing it right there.
Yeah.
And if they're overloaded, what happens? How much of a fine?
That depends on how many fractions you had.
And how much they're overweight?
Yeah,
It's a chart, yeah.
Okay, I thought they had to go some, I didn't know that they
You know,
did
it's got the
that.
scales right with them.
You
Yeah,
can't
well,
unload half.
you're
the
talking
load.
about, you guys talking about manure hauling. I grew up in the corn belt. I ran a manure injector, quad axle, on a quad track. I was weighing in with a full load right around 115,000 pounds.
And my point to them is okay, so you bought a 7,000 gallon tanker, you're gonna hang this piece of equipment off the back end. But you wanna be able to fill it 100% full.
Right.
And they said, yeah, I said, why can't you fill it 2/3 of the way full? Well, the gauge stops at when it's 2/3. I said, perfect. But I said, we have dump trucks, they'll hold 20 yards. You can only put in 10 legally, I mean, that's just the way it is. You can't fill it till it's running out the sides. But, they're not used to that and they don't want to do that, but they might have to,
I think a big thing would be how many axles and how wide those tires are. Because some of those got this big wide tire like this, they can handle a lot of weight, so
It's still,
without damage.
it still is all that weight on that one spot of the highway, I
But
mean,
if it's widened out though, so, yeah, I don't know, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I see a lot of those with big white tires on. And they don't sink in the dirt, so they shouldn't sink in the highway.
Okay, so next meeting date tentative?
I guess I don't have one
Okay,
right now, we should probably wait and see when that finance committee meeting might be and get something close to there so we can talk about that equipment.
Okay, so we'll just wait and see.
I would like to see a meeting after the 10th of June if possible. After the 10th. I don't think we'll have one that quick though, right?
I mean, yeah, generally,
Might not have one till July.
Well, I'm just saying.
But-
you know,
so our next meeting, would possibly be June 13th would be
That would be
the
fine.
second Monday.
That would be the earliest.
Yeah,
Okay,
that would be the
yeah, I have no
earliest, yeah.
problem with that.
But if, depending on that finance. Is there any other items that we need to discuss upcoming? I don't have anything.
No,
Hopefully I'll have some updates on some of this
Okay.
grant.
anything else? We go to the,
I have questions for Matt after the meeting.
oh, okay.
You always kept us posted like who's leaving and who's not, and so. I kind of would like to see the county board do that someday. Is, every time we have a county board meeting saying John Smith left and we replaced John Smith, I'd like to know who's
Oh, you
working.
mean in the whole county?
Yeah, the whole county. I'd like to know who's working for the county.
Yeah.
Like if we got a different zoning administrator now. Well, how the heck would,
Yeah, I didn't even know it.
how would you even know? But I'd like to see that.
Well-
I don't know how many people leave the county every.
Hold on a second. We could put that on Dan.
Yeah.
Dan the man. He would know
Yes,
who's
sir.
leaving the county. So
No,
maybe
yeah.
give us a county board update once in a while. saying,
Yeah,
hey,
every county board meeting since the last county board meeting. I don't know if this needs to be discussed at the executive committee or
No,
some
we
other
can- we can
committee
just-
or.
If you guys want that, we can do that.
no,
Yeah, we
this is
also
a-
have email.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it works.
Yeah.
When you look at it.
Well, I was
That
scared,
first one
no
didn't
offense,
go
but I
up.
was scared this morning when Amber called. I thought, what
1
the heck?
o'clock.
Did we cancel this meeting?
I was just
I
making
thought
sure,
that
so,
was-
Yeah.
so Dick didn't come down here yet again.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
That's my run.
I just like
I have a
to,
regular run.
I'd like to sprout off one more time.
Okay.
I think it was very nice at the last county board meeting to have all the county board members there
Yes.
instead of being on Zoom.
Yeah.
And that helped Dick out and that helped,
Yeah.
just to try to get everybody's point across, we had that reorganization meeting 2 years ago when everybody was on Zoom. What a disaster.
Yeah, that
And
was bad.
you didn't know.
Well, then you throw in the telephone calls.
Right, and then you got telephone calls, Zoom and people that are there and
Yeah.
so, but I, that's neither here nor there, but I just thought as long as we got time and we're talking about it, I think it's nice to bring up.
Let's minimize the Zoom. That's a good idea.
On the next county board on the county board meeting tomorrow, is Matt's tenure going to be brought up?
What? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, the ordinance is on
Yeah,
the
okay.
agenda.
That's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
9 o'clock.
That one, no.
Yeah, 9 o'clock. Mark.
No,
I'll beep when I come by your house.
Is there some way that when you send out the notices for meetings, that you can acknowledge if they received them? Does the computer do that or no?
For emails, you can.
Email, you can say yes.
Well, Isn't that what happened last Monday?
I never got the-
Nobody got it last
No.
Monday, or the week before. They got the one we sent last Monday
Yeah.
Right.
for this week, but the one before that. So I
Right.
think that maybe there was something because of the transition of, the committees and groups that
I
maybe.
couldn't-
Because what I do is I used to just send it to us, but then not everyone would get it. So I sent it to Heather and she sent it to her whole group that she sends all meetings to. So that's been working out well, and I think it was just yeah, it was. So
Is there a motion to adjourn? Mike makes a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
We kind of miss Corporal, huh?